Today I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys 30 awesome tips and tricks you could do on your iPhone 11 Pro or 11 or an iPhone without the home button. These are the tips and tricks I personally find myself doing on a day-to-day basis, and I'm really surprised that not a lot of people really know about them. So sit back, relax, as you're about to learn some of these awesome tips, some hidden features that you could implement on your device to easily enhance your overall experience. Now enough talk, let's go ahead and hop on our phone and begin. Alright, here we are on our phone, and the first thing I want to show you is for those that don't have Apple Music. I know there's still a handful of us that don't have Apple Music, and I wouldn't blame you. Spotify and other music streaming services are much better, or maybe you just don't want a music streaming service, and it's really annoying, especially when you launch the music app and you see like the section where it says sign up for Apple Music. There's actually a way in the settings to remove this, and if you don't want to use Apple Music, I'll highly recommend doing this to disable this. So quickly go into your phone settings, go down to music. In the music application, just disable show Apple Music, and now when you're back on your music library, it looks like your ordinary music app that it used to look like before Apple Music was even a thing. So it eliminates bloatware by doing this. Now for number 2, when using the keyboard, if you hold down on the space bar, you can actually move your cursor anywhere you want to correct certain mistakes or add certain sentences. 3, when holding down the little globe icon, you can actually move the keyboard slightly to the right or to the left to give you a better single hand typing experience. If you're coming from Android to iOS, the Swift key functionality is now available on iOS. And then when it comes to quickly undoing, correcting mistakes, you can still shake and tap undo, or you can actually double tap with 3 fingers, or swipe with those 3 fingers, and it'll quickly undo. When sending an email, you could actually, if you select the sentence, you could actually change the font and the size option right here, like you would like a typical desktop. In the new Apple Map application, if you actually tap on this little icon right here for information, you can actually change it to a satellite point of view. But not only that, if you tap the 3D, depending on the area, some regions have 3D scanned buildings which look really awesome and can definitely help when it comes to locating directions. But not only that, if you actually drop a pin, if it's an area that already has been scanned, you actually have Street View, and this Street View is a lot better than what Google offers. Have somebody in your contact that doesn't have a profile picture, you can actually create their very own custom ones by using Memojis. If you have a contact that's empty like this one, if you actually tap edit, add photo, click on emojis, down here you can actually create a custom face that represent them, or you could fool around and make them into like some kind of alien, and you could take like a selfie portrait as well, just the way you want their profile to look like. It's fully customizable, just like yours. And while we're still at contacts, if you go down, you can actually add people directly to your emergency contact list like this. And now new for iOS 13, they have like a little red star right here. Bringing down the notification tab, if you're actually in a group notification, you know how annoying it could be sometimes you just want to quickly mute it. If you actually slide the notification to the left like so, tap manage, you can actually tap deliver quietly or turn off all in general. And then some of these native application notifications on the control center, you can actually haptic touch or 3D press, you will have access to these shortcuts. Back at the home menu, if you ever have these applications that are like all spread out, all scattered around, and you want to move them all in one single page without having to move them one by one manually, by toggling the toggle animation like this, if you actually tap on a bunch of applications you want to move, they'll stack up. Once you have all of them all ready and you want to move, simply move to the page, release, and they will automatically move to that page. If you're not a fan of the haptic touch sensitivity, you can actually manually adjust it to your liking. If we go to our settings, hop into accessibilities, go into touch, where it says haptic touch, you could change the duration speed right here to slow, fast, and you can use the little image right here to actually test it out and see if you like it. While we're still in the settings application, I recommend double checking to see if you have battery optimized charging enabled. This is still very new for this iOS. If you go into the battery tab, you go to health battery or battery health, and right down here where it says optimize battery charging, what this does is basically will give you a longer lasting longevity lifespan you get from your battery life on your iPhone. Now still in the settings, let's go into the notification tab. Right over here, on top of here where it says show previews, if you tap on this, if you tap on always, any notification that you get like text messages on Facebook and stuff like that, it's going to be readable on your lock screen. But let's go ahead and change it when unlocked so nobody could see what our private messages say. What I like to do is have some of these notifications actually allow to be able to show me a preview on the lock screen, like those applications that I really could care less if somebody knows how many, I don't know, likes I have on Instagram, for example. So on the Instagram tab, we can not only customize the banner alert that we want, but over here where it says show preview, let's switch it to always. Now we don't have to unlock our phone to actually see what notification Instagram is telling us. So if you have an application that gives you notifications but you could care less if somebody else will see that message or notification, this is how you enable this, so you don't have to really be required to unlock your phone to actually see the notification. Still here, if you go inside the control center section and tap customize control center, here you could actually add some new devices, new shortcuts to your control center. So let's add dark mode because this is a new feature, and let's add the QR code, and make sure you have screen recording because this can also be very useful. You can rearrange them however you like, and you can also remove them by tapping the little red, and it updates right away. And to bring down the control center, simply swipe from the top right down, and in the screen recording option, if you actually haptic touch or 3D press, you can actually include your microphone. You could toggle that right here. The flashlight toggle also has a very similar shortcut where you can actually manually adjust the brightness, as well as you could toggle dark mode. You might have also seen that we have a QR code, which honestly you really don't need it because, for example, let's lock our phone. If we launch a camera application, just the native standard camera application, scan it, click on it, boom, it takes you to the direct link of that QR code. So there's really no need to have this widget in there. Then you also got the calculator. The calculator application is a standard application, just a quicker shortcut. By tapping on a number instead of hitting the to clear all, if you make a mistake, you don't have to re-enter the number. You can actually swipe like so, and it'll actually remove that number so you could continue typing up whatever number calculations you were trying to get. Back here in the controls tab, if you actually 3D press on the Wi-Fi, for example, you could actually manually select the different Wi-Fis that are available. Same goes for AirDrop, Bluetooth, and you can also toggle your personal hotspot and all that stuff. You could do it all right here. And you can do the exact same thing with the music. If you have a pair of AirPods connected to them, you can select it like here. Back in our settings application, there's new wallpapers I want to quickly cover. These have like a cool feature. There's the dynamic one, which is just like motion. These are standard, but they added more. But stills, the ones with little circles right here, these actually have a color shifting option. So whenever, let's go ahead and select one. If we bring down the control center and disable dark mode, it shifts to a white background. And if we enable dark mode, it's a dark background. If you're using one of these newest, latest iPhone 11s or 11 Pro, you also get these live ones, which basically do the exact same thing. However, it's still very unfortunate that we cannot set our very own customized ones, like for dark mode or light mode, that we can select manually. But you can actually have like a schedule. If we go back and go to our brightness and display, or display and brightness, I mean, if you actually select the automatic, this is going to automatically change from dark mode to light mode, depending on the type of day it is. Or you can actually manually create your very own custom schedule if you don't want it to automatically do it from sunrise to sunset, depending on your location. Since we're still in the setting applications, if you're known to constantly get a bunch of spam calls from bots, telemarketers, I would definitely recommend taking advantage of this new silent unknown callers. Go into the phone tab and go down where you see silent unknown callers. When this is enabled, callers from unknown numbers will be silent and sent directly to voicemail and will be displayed on your recent call list. Incoming calls will continue to ring from people in your contacts or any outgoing calls that you made recently. It uses Siri suggestions, so if it's a number that's available public like a business on Yelp or Google, if it's a trusted number, it'll still be able to ring your phone. So if somebody really needs to get a hold of you, they will always be able to leave a voicemail and you'll be able to contact them. Now, Face ID is awesome, but there's actually a feature that you can actually enable. This way, when Face ID actually unlocks, it actually will vibrate and give you feedback. By default, this is turned off, but if you want this feedback, I personally enjoy it. You just simply have to go back in your settings, go to accessibilities, click on Face ID and attention, and enabled haptic on successful authorization. Now when your phone successfully unlocks, it gives you like a cool feedback. Alternative Face ID is another thing I want to quickly cover. This is great. Let's say, for example, if you have a spouse, a friend, family member you trust, and you also want them to have access to your device, you can actually set 2 different Face IDs on one single phone. But not only that, let's say, for example, you have these glasses or a hat or some kind of apparel that you typically wear, and you're experiencing issues where Face ID isn't able to recognize you. Still in the setting application, if you go to Face ID and passcode, enter your passcode, tap on set up an alternative appearance. This could be another person, or just wear the glasses or hat that you've been wearing if the Face ID has been having a hard time detecting you, and rescan your face. This way it has 2 different ways to unlock itself. Now moving on, in the note application side of things, let's go ahead and quickly type something up. Yeah, that will do. If you tap the little arrow share button and you go down to where it says locked notes, you could actually lock this note and it uses Face ID. But not only that, if we go back, you could actually pin the note. This way it's going to always be on top. You can also go into the app settings and go down to where it says notes on the note section. You have more control to not just disable Face ID, but also can actually change it to an actual keyboard type password. You could do this to hide images, password, or other sensitive information. But another thing, let's say, for example, let's go in our photo library and you have a photo that you just want it to be hidden. If you actually tap on the photo you want to hide with the little up arrow, if you go down, if you look, you actually have a hidden option. When you put this in the hidden, it's not password secure like the Face ID in the notes is. What it basically does, it separates that image in its own separate hidden album, which means it requires a little more steps to access this photo. So if you pass your phone to a friend or somebody, they're less likely to run into this photo because they have to manually actually go into the other album and then tap right here, and that's where they're gonna go ahead and find it. Now when sharing a photo, another thing you might have not known, on top of here where it says options, if you tap on this is where you could disable the geo-lock location of the information where you took that photo. So if you're sharing a picture on social media on a public platform, it's not going to include like the GPS location where you took the photo. And as you saw, it also works on videos and yes, photos. Now hopping on to Safari, a lot of people don't know about this, but this was a new feature they innovated for iOS 13. Whenever you take a screenshot, not only do we have access to like doodles and stuff like that, if you want to highlight certain things, you could do so, and then of course hit done, and then you could hit save, but we're not going to go ahead and do that. If you're on a Safari web page, you could actually switch from screen to full page, and that will actually capture everything that was on that web page. So if you want to screenshot a full entire website, this is how you do so, but whenever you hit done, it's going to save to PDF inside the file application, not your camera roll. Now moving on, let's say for example you found yourself in one of those weird websites where they don't let you leave to go back to the previous website where you originally were, you know, those pesky ads or pop-ups or whatever. There's a way you could bypass that without having to close that window and retype up the website. If you actually hold down the little back arrow, you could actually skip where you last were on that website you want to go back into without having to log in or anything like that. You could just tap on it and bam, you just quickly just skipped everything. And back in the note application, I accidentally skipped something. Next to the little share sheet, you see that little plus icon? You can actually add another person to have access to the notes that you're taking. So they have access to adjusting the notes and stuff like that. And then you could actually invite them by either texting them, emailing them, or sending them a copy link. And down here where it says share options, you actually have the ability to change their permission. You could allow them to have actually do changes on the notes, or they can only view the latest updates. And if you go back, you can see the little share icon right next to that note, so you have an idea which one of these notes is being shared. Now in the notes, this little camera icon, you can actually scan documents on this thing. By simply placing the documents in front of the camera, it will sometimes automatically scan, or you can hit the little shutter button to take the photo. You can manually adjust the edges, make sure everything lines up, and you can also change the colors as well to like a standard black and white photo or a grayscale. And then for this final tip for number 30, in the Files application, you can also do a very similar thing. Here is not only where you see your screenshots that we took of those web pages, but if you tap on the Browse tab and scroll up like a little bit, hit these little dots, you can actually tap on scan documents and gives you access to this. But the benefits of doing it like this will actually be synchronized across your Macs because this is using our iCloud drive. So if you ever have to scan a document on the go, this is the best method to do so because this eliminates the hassle of having to email it to yourself. So all in all, those were my top 30 hidden features, tips and tricks, some awesome essentials that you can use on your iPhone. If you still want to go ahead and check out more, especially the camera application side of things, there's a lot. I have a full dedicated video on that, which is crucial to know about, especially if you have the iPhone 11 Pro. There's a ton of cool hidden features and tips that isn't really well covered, and I do it all in that video, so definitely do check that one out. And then that video over there, that is a video that YouTube is recommending specifically for you. They think you're going to enjoy it. Check it out, see if YouTube was right, and comment down below if they were. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.